Just get through this little tight bit here. Oh yes. What's crack, Bitcoin? We're heading for 100k. I'm no longer a crazy person because I've been saying this all year. And in fact, it's happening before because I said Santi's going to bring 100k. And here we go. We're ahead of schedule. People give out to you if you talked about Santi in November. But looks like we're going to smash it any minute now, any day now, any hour now perhaps. What happens next? So I'll just give you my thoughts on this. I'll give you my two sats. Quick introduction. My name is Dinny from Bitcoin With Dinny. We're Ireland's first Bitcoin consulting company we're in our 5th year now of helping people to retire early by using Bitcoin, by teaching them the truth about Bitcoin, despite everything that traditional finance has told them and kept them out of the world's highest performing asset. We give them straight education. We make it really, really simple so anyone can understand it and anyone can use Bitcoin. So that's who I am. And if you like what I have to say, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you do watch my videos, please do hit the subscribe button. It just helps the algorithm try and push this out. You know, most people are listening to mainstream, they don't own Bitcoin. And if you want Bitcoin to be adopted and go mainstream, you should push the algorithm and try and push the Bitcoin content, because they ain't inviting me onto the radio to talk about Bitcoin. They're bringing financial advisors on, say, oh, it's very risky. I might own 0.5%. Nonsense, bullshit. They own millions worth. How do I know? Some of my clients. Okay, so let's go. Bitcoin is about to smash through 100k, but what happens next? Is 100k the ceiling? Is this the hallowed ground? It's like, yes, we made it, we hit 100k. Anyone who didn't get into Bitcoin or build a Bitcoin pension before 100k, it's too late. That's what some people have you believe. I don't believe that's the case. In fact, I know that's not the case because I've studied Bitcoin for many, many years and I understand Bitcoin. And when you understand Bitcoin, it's really simple. Bitcoin is a money that's programmed to go up in value over time. Okay, I'll repeat it again. Bitcoin is a money, even though David McWilliams tells you it's not a money, he's full of shit. Bitcoin is a money that's programmed to go up in value over time. It's very simple, okay? And that's it. Now, when you understand Bitcoin, humans can't change its programming. Okay, it's a fixed set of rules that are really difficult to change because you have to get what's called consensus, meaning everyone who runs the network, or should I say, the vast majority of people running the network all have to agree for the rule change, okay? And that's why Bitcoin is immutable. It's impossible to change because how the hell do you get a majority of people of all different nationalities, of all different time zones, of all different religious beliefs, of all different global ideologies to agree? Very hard. And that is why Bitcoin is so precious. That's the strength of Bitcoin, this decentralized model. So, geez, the roads are a bit icy. Are they? Maybe they are. We'll throw off the traction control now in a minute and send her sideways and we'll find out. Wait till we get to a roundabout. I'm joking, of course. I would never do that. Certainly not on the live. So, yeah, Bitcoin's hitting 100k. It's only just the beginning. This is only the beginning of mainstream adoption. And when I say mainstream, I'm talking about TradFi. TradFi is finally figuring out that this Bitcoin thing is not going away, it's here to stay, and they need to accumulate it. So, most people are looking at Bitcoin and seeing the price of it, and they go, oh, 100 grand. Sorry, I talk in dollars. I'm dollarized, because it's just a better currency than the euro. I don't save euros. Save in dollars and you'll do better. Anyway, that's a different subject altogether. I don't really save in dollars either. I save in Bitcoin. But most people see the figure 100 grand, they go, oh, too late for me. Here's some shit coins I'll buy. Now, shit coins are all coins, okay? And this is what happens. This happens every cycle, okay? I've been here for a few of them. And you'll probably see them in the comments of the video, oh, Bitcoin's too expensive. Can't get the games and Bitcoin. I'm going for whatever this particular coin they're going to mention is. And they're always poor people. You'll never find really wealthy people saying these things. They're always poor people, financially poor, and because they're informationally poor. The only reason, for me, when I was financially poor, it's because I was informationally poor, if that's a word. I just didn't have the information about money. Because once you understand money and investing, and it's just a process, and it just takes time, and if you do the correct steps, you create wealth, you create money, you get rich, okay? So if you're thinking that way, I'll just tell you, you're going to lose money. And hopefully those of you who are catching this message and starting to think that way and seeing the FOMO, and FOMO means fear of missing out. So you want to ape into things other than Bitcoin. You don't do any work. You just want to listen to some YouTube videos and some YouTuber telling you that some coin is going to go from 1 cent to $5 or some shit like that, and you're going to get rich. And that sounds cool. It's the same reason people do the lotto. It's a romantic story. Buy this fucking ticket and you might win. Shameless information though, FYI, you won't win the lotto. You'll never win the lotto. It's a total waste of your money. And if you put that money into Bitcoin, since Bitcoin started, you'd be retired early by now. But anyway, so this is how people go wrong. They get sucked into the FOMO and the nonsense. The difference between Bitcoiners, those of us who have used Bitcoin for a wealth effect, okay, and use Bitcoin to build a pension for a better future, is that we've done enough study to realize that there's no shortcuts, okay? You can get rich over time, but you can't get rich quick. It's like fitness. There's no shortcuts. Take the steroids, yeah, it's a shortcut, but you die younger. You get a banger at 50. You know, that's the trade-off. So it's not free. So where we are with Bitcoin, we're 100K. Let's just call it 100K. We're 99 grand, okay? We're round. It's fair to say I'm going to round to 100K. This is a critical number, okay? This is a critical number for TradFi. It's like, holy hell, this thing is $100,000. We can't continue to call it a scam. We can't continue to ignore it, okay? And the thing about TradFi is, to TradFi, it makes no difference for them buying Bitcoin at 50 grand or 100 grand. It doesn't. To retail people, normal people, it can make a life-changing difference, okay? But to the big money in the world, it doesn't really make any difference. So big money, when you're rich, you see, I'll just explain basic financial principles. And do me a favor here, we've got a good crew on. Could everyone just hit the like button? Just do me a favor, click the screen, hit the like button. That'd be awesome. Where am I going? Oh yeah. I'd rant on so many things, lads, I don't even know where I'm going. But to TradFi, 100K is nothing. When it comes to risk, I'm going to teach you a little bit about risk management, okay? When you are rich, you don't need to take as much risk. When you are poor, you need to take more risk. This is financially, okay? This just, well, not you need to. If you're poor and you want to stay poor, never take any risk and stay poor forever. But to me, that's a bigger risk. So therefore, it's just a case that you don't understand what risk is, not a case that you're actually not taking the risk. You're taking more risk by doing nothing when you're poor because you're going to stay poor. And being poor is a pain in the ass because I was poor. So, and when you're wealthy, you don't need to take as much risk, okay? That's how it works. So the wealth of the world didn't need to risk on Bitcoin until it was regulated, until it was institutionalized, until there was FASB accounting built onto it. We have that now, it's launching in January, until there was SEC regulation around this thing, and it became, there was an ETF product in the United States of America. We have all that. So you see, all the risk is past now. Plus, we're just at that stage of the market. Bitcoin works like clockwork for us to understand it. It's literally like a clock, okay? And that's how people thought I was a raving lunatic saying, Santi's bringing 100K Bitcoin. I couldn't say it with certainty. You know, I couldn't bet my family's life on it, but I was willing to bet my finances on it, if that makes sense. Genie lad, could you drive any slower here? What's the crack? Must have precious cargo on that choke. So yeah, I was financially certain to bet my finances on it, and it's just because you've done the work on it. So TradFi has now also done the work. Michael Saylor's orange pilling the world. He's meeting Microsoft board soon to talk to them. Should they buy Bitcoin? 100K is not the ceiling, okay? Because at the moment, we've 50. No. Big global names that people know. We've a handful of companies with Bitcoin strategies. A handful, okay? Every single one of them is going to do this. A lot of these companies, like some of them are sitting on billions in cash. Now you know, what I say to people all the time is, saving in cash, saving euros in the bank is just a dumb idea. It's the silliest thing anyone can do. Putting money in the post office for your kids' future, I know it sounds good in principle. It's like, yeah, you're saving for their future, but it's just a stupid thing to do because the money's getting devalued so much. that by the time they're old enough for it to be any use to them, it's probably 10 times less valuable. You'd be much better off saving Bitcoin. So it works for a personal level to save in Bitcoin, but it also works for a corporate level, that corporations. Look at MicroStrategy. If you're into stocks, have a look at MSTR and look at the performance of that stock since 2020. In 2020, MicroStrategy changed their strategy. And instead of saving in dollars, they just started saving in Bitcoin. That's the highest performance stock in the stock market, okay? They're getting into NASDAQ. They'll be getting into the S&P index. They've outperformed NVIDIA. Everyone goes on about NVIDIA this, NVIDIA that. Just implement the Bitcoin strategy and you outperform everyone. Or just own the Bitcoin. So, you can see the effect, MSTR, go Google it. It'll rip your face off. Like a lot of our retiree club, what we done is we allocated our traditional pension. Well, I don't have one, so I'll say we, but they, the guys who have traditional pensions, they allocated their traditional pension to MSTR. Now MSTR is up a couple of 1,000%. Okay, that's how we use traditional route to retire, even with their traditional pensions, and we build a Bitcoin pension as well for them. And this is the value of the retiree club. It's crazy. But hey, you do you. If you want to figure it out yourself, figure it out yourself. So Bitcoin is currently trading at 100 grand. The majority of people who watch this video will retire super wealthy if they can accumulate 0.1 of a Bitcoin. 0.1. And the truth is, most people don't even need to own that much Bitcoin. You need to price it in Satoshis. Pricing Bitcoin in a Bitcoin is like pricing the euro in a million, or possibly 10 million. No, I've got one. I don't have a 10 million. I've got 0.00000 of a 10 million. Okay, that's why we have euros. Well, you see, Bitcoin is like the equivalent of 10 million. So you need to price it in Satoshis. You can buy 1 million Satoshis today for just under 1,000 quid. 1 million! You can become a Satoshi millionaire. Now, they'll reach dollar parity someday in the future. They're 1 for 1. Crazy trade, isn't it? Almost $1,000, you can buy 1 million. That's investing. That's literally what investing is. You position yourself where you think the world is going, where you think the future is. You position your money, and then what do? You wait, and then the investment does the work for you. And that is the beauty of it, and that's what most people don't get. So if Bitcoin was like adopted by Apple and adopted by Microsoft, and America had it as a world reserve currency, and all my friends had it as a pension strategy, and all the pension companies own it, and all the insurance companies ran their balance sheet on 50-50 Bitcoin. You know, when we get to that world, I'll tell you, it ain't early anymore. Have we got to that world? We ain't nowhere feckin' close, folks. You see, TradFi slept on this thing, and this is a paradigm shift. Okay? So what most TradFi, what your bank manager, pension manager, accountant, your wealthy friend will say, they'll be like this: Bitcoin is a bad investment, but I don't understand it. Like if you're to, you know, when they'll talk about Bitcoin, that's really what they're saying. I don't understand this, so I think it's bad, because I amn't open-minded enough to do the work on it. And it pisses me off that these Bitcoin lunatics think they know more than me. Well, humble pie, baby. They're all going to have to eat it, because we're right. We've been right. We've always been right. Some of them are starting to see it, and some of the fools still haven't seen it, and that's their problem. But my game is to make normal people realize that Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is freedom for you and your family, and by figuring it out, you can change your financial future. You can take away all your worries. You can set up your kids' future. You can set up your own future, and all the nonsense that mainstream are telling you, it's too late. It's just a Ponzi scheme. Oh, it's over now. Oh, it'll just crash. It's all bullshit, folks. It's up to you to do the work. If you want to learn about it, we'll teach you about it. I'll be doing a free webinar next week. No, not next week, in a couple of weeks. Click the description, click the first link at the top of the page on my website, get into my newsletter. I'll also send you a free letter that I wrote to my friends and family years ago, trying to convince them to save in bloody Bitcoin. Did they listen? Of course not. Did they listen years later? Yes. But anyway, everyone gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve, and us Bitcoiners, we can only just try and convince you. So first we had the hurdle of 1,000, then we tried to convince you Bitcoin is going to 10 grand. For the last 4 years, we've been trying to teach people that Bitcoin is going to 100 grand. People can see that now. My next mission will be trying to teach people Bitcoin's going to 1 million. And again, we'll start again. Normies who haven't done the work will say, it can't, I don't believe it can, there's no way it can. And of course it will. Guys, hope you have a good day. If you're stacking Bitcoin, well done. You've no idea how bright your future looks. All you have to do is secure the Bitcoin. If you need help with that, I'll just throw in my little pitch. I'm an advisor with the Bitcoin Advisor, and for 7 or 8 years, we've helped high net worth families secure their Bitcoin without ever losing a Bitcoin, and we've taken families through probate, meaning people have died unexpectedly, and we've still been able to retrieve the Bitcoin. Now we're able to offer it to retail, normal people. So if you've got Bitcoin that makes you uncomfortable holding it on a single sig, get in contact with me. Particularly if you've got like 1 Bitcoin or more, we can help you secure it for generations. We can put an estate plan in process, and we can guide your hand so you can have your Bitcoin custodied in no single point of failure, so it's impossible to lose it. That sounds good? Drop me a little message there. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out how to contact me. Find my website. Anyway, have a super day, guys. Dinny out. Sun's out, guns out.